Hi guys and welcome back. The one that got away, $1 million bust, Southbound. The Southbound uh, readiness team uh, got lucky. I can say there there was a quite a bit of a backlog of traffic going southbound now, and so uh, they already had committed a vehicle that was loaded with $1 million. So from a certain point, from the last exit, from the actual how do you say turn like a turnout and to go south from the last actual boulevard. This vehicle was already dedicated past 10 points because they will bust a U-turn quick. Okay? If there is a chance, there is a way for them to actually bust the U and take off back north into a wherever they would designated to go, like a safe house or whatever. But most of that money is coming up from Northern California. So uh, not unless they're really well, I can only assume, right? So, yeah, there'd be a safe house around that area, around the border. So, on the north side. So this vehicle was already committed southbound. Uh, there was one last U.S. U-turn, but I believe by that time it was actually under lock and key, where you had to wait for an agent to actually open it up for you to return back into the northbound freeways. It was used so readily that lane, so for not for good either. So that was one way they actually controlled it. It was put it under a lock and key. So uh, southbound doing their thing, and nervousness, anxious, no body, the body language gives it all up. So next thing they stopped this vehicle, and now they want to go to a thorough search. For some reason, they actually let the driver, or I don't know if somebody just got the better of them and exited that vehicle and ran down south. I don't know if that was the best choice since he could have made that day, but he took the risk. He'd rather be down south than actually face the charges over here up north. So he took his chances. I don't know how they actually take care of that stuff down there after losing $1 million, but he did. And they don't, at that time, they didn't pay that much. For $1 million, for the time you'll get for actually transporting money across the border. Uh, you could only cross legally without actually Declaring it. This is cash, either north to south. You could only export and import. Cash was 9,999 cents. If you were at the 10,000, you had to actually fill out a form and actually submit it to customs, the Treasury Department. Okay? And best believe that that's going to go to the IRS, and the IRS is going to check the legality actually of that actual currency. So you have to actually fill it out in details, and I mean all details of yours, and it gets turned in to different departments to get overlooked and to get actually logged in and to get their cut. And I'm not lying, to get their cut. So uh, if you go over, yeah, that's you're going to be taxed even more. You can, and that would be declaring it. I'm sorry, I got it confused. In anywhere from the 9,999, you don't have to report. 10,000 above, you have to report on paper. And people did do it. People did actually honor that, and I mean, it's legal money, so it's fair game, And um, but just the risk of actually uh, handling that money without any kind of protection, any kind of uh, bulletproof vest. This is back in the 90s. So bulletproof vest, any kind of weapon, not even uh, nobody can cross the actual border with the actual gun back then. Now laws have changed and treaties were actually um, Unfortunately, they were actually what do they use? They were actually not respected. You know, disrespected the actual the treaties. So the money was coming in so often, so in abundance that they actually had actually designated vehicles by mark and by model transported this money down south. It was that in the open. It was that in the open. It was that in the, it was abundance of money for everybody. I mean, everybody got their cut. The IRS, the actual the Treasury Department, everybody got their actual allotment. And it's not like in law enforcement actually in towns and local or sheriffs. Any kind of cash that actually gets seized by that actual department, there is no department for the Fed, so it just gets thrown into the Treasury Department, wherever it goes, you know what I mean? But it's not, it doesn't stay at that port, it doesn't stay at that station, at least back then, you know? But everybody gets their funding, and that's just the way the Feds work. But your local government, the money gets seized, that's money is, the percentage of that money is actually staying in that actual community. And well, in that police department community, I should say, you know, not the community itself. And and unions are that strong, you know, they'll keep the actual money for, you know, for their actual employees, and that's what they're there for, to fight for you, you know, the unions, at least in that aspect. So now just think about this, okay? So this guy went southbound, he's done, he got away. Now the money in that vehicle needs to be secured, okay? So now you got to bring out extra security, and you got to bring out extra money machines. That was the actual first time. That was the actual first time I actually smelled used money. And it's a unique smell. It's not a new smell of money. It's a used smell of money, and you can only imagine what it's been through. It's been through crack houses. It's been through neighborhoods. It's been through uh, Rodeo Drive. It's been through all these actual money laundering uh, entities, whether it be uh, how do you say fabrics, whether it be soft goods, whether it be any kind of shop that you see in LA is a potential laundry the money, And these uh these fashion outlets, these little havens, little communities, they were doing most of the actual money laundering for the West Coast out here, And they finally got busted, and they all went down, and they all went down as individuals too. So there was no uh, big conspiracy to for a big broad map because you're not going to say anything. First of all, and second of all, that's the purpose of having these actual entities. So there's no ties to the big hitters up in Southbound, right? So that's the name of the game, Get that money cleaned up and send it out. But there was so much that they were actually sending the actual loads right through a million at a time. A million at a time. I tell you, they were not paying enough, in my opinion, enough. But that's that's just the way the way it went down back then. There was such money. There was so much money that it couldn't be laundered, and they just started doing it direct line, And they had a fleet of these same vehicles because they were actually perfect for hiding money. The actual trunk was just the right size for $1 million. Yeah, just like that. So now the money has to be secure, the money has to be counted, and the money has to be under watch at all times. And of course, you got different ships coming in, helping out and everything, but it has to be organized and it has to be under scrutiny, and you are subject to search at any point. There's no questions. No, you have to be aware of that situation that you will be searched in case something falls into your pocket, your sock, your shoe, anything. Money, money, and that money is not traceable. So now the transport of that money, okay? Because for that money now, we'll go into and I'll say underground, but I'm not really meaning underground subterranean. You know what I mean? It goes to an underground actual facility that will be, most likely, it won't be in a residential area, put it that way. And it will look like a plain building, plain Jane, and it will be a low building, one story, single story, with actual a warehouse type entrance and exit that kind of drops a little bit. And it's low for a reason, right? So the actual money gets put in boxes. It gets to a number of actual department heads. And that money gets put into an armored vehicle. If they don't have one available, they'll call a local armor company that they have a contract with, and they'll transport that money for the actual agency. But let me tell you, that I've never been around so much money at all at once, and that smell has a little bit on the smelly side, but it was still sweet as roses, if you know what I mean. It was still a lot of money, and some of it was crispy, some of it was very worn out and old, but it was very well organized in the actual vehicle. It was very well organized, you know, and not always is Southbound always actually running inspections. And they know this for the reason that there are taxi cab companies, there are actual import export, businesses that actually will give the heads up if there's any kind of actual inspection going down southbound. And that's just the reality of it, you know. And that's it for this one. If you guys like, subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys.